We begin with the latest on the war in Ukraine. President Biden held a video conference with European allies as his administration considers reversing course on banning Russian oil imports. The United Nations says the invasion of Ukraine is creating the largest growing refugee crisis in Europe since World War II. Skylar Henry has more from the White House.
In the 12 days since Russia invaded Ukraine, oil prices have skyrocketed to their highest levels in more than a decade. Now the Biden administration is considering a ban on Russian energy imports, while also hoping to lessen the pain for Americans at the pump.
No decision has been made at this point. What the president is most focused on is ensuring we are continuing to take steps to deliver punishing economic consequences on Putin.
President Biden discussed Ukraine in a video conference with the leaders of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, as some European allies also look for ways to cut consumption of Russian oil.
You can't simply close down use of oil and gas overnight, even from Russia.
Ukrainian negotiators say a third round of talks with the Russians have yielded some progress on civilian evacuations. So far, failed ceasefire attempts have upset efforts to create safe corridors. The United Nations says more than 1.7 million people have fled Ukraine since the invasion began. The Biden administration is in discussions with allies on how to backfill countries like Poland, should Poland fulfill Ukraine's request for more fighter jets.
There are a number of challenging practical questions, including how the planes would actually be transferred from Poland to Ukraine.
The Pentagon has ordered 500 more U.S. troops to Europe to bolster NATO's eastern flank, where Secretary of State Antony Blinken is visiting allies.
Our message to Russia, to President Putin, end the war. End it now.
Blinken says there have been no decisions on keeping U.S. forces in the region permanently. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
And tonight, members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee are receiving a closed-door briefing on the situation in Ukraine from State Department officials. And later this week, Congress is expected to take up the Biden administration's request for $10 billion in additional humanitarian and military aid for Ukraine.